Gently, softly, come back in to this space. Let the golden threads anchor into your root chakra and send loving energy into that space. All the love of the cosmos. Bring your full presence into this space. I call upon your soul. I call upon the master in you. This conversation today is not for the mind. It's for your soul. The transmission that is available here for you is coded in frequency, and it is asking you to fully open yourself up, to go beyond the mind, to go beyond knowing how, to go beyond knowing when, what, to fully know the truth of who you are. And as you come back into this space, as you allow your energy to permeate into your hands, into your fingers, if you are willing to, please let me know in the comments as we go, to start to converse with me, to continue to exchange potential energy, because even though this is a free transmission in this physical dimension, the exchange of potential energy is still very valid and still very relevant. And so maybe perhaps even if you're not exchanging monetary terms, there is still going to be an invitation that requires you to exchange a certain kind of potential energy, meaning it could be your time, it could be your words, it could be you opening your heart up, it could be you opening your mind up, it could be you saying, I'm willing to let my mind quiet down just for the next 45 minutes to 1 hour. Who knows? I don't know what's coming through. I have no script. I have no idea. But just that potential energy that you're going to exchange is going to make a whole lot of difference. And I think this is something that in a spiritual community, in this, whatever you want to name it, that we don't speak about enough. And this is why so many of you perhaps are finding yourself in a place where you say to yourself often, I know all the information. I know where to reach for information. I know where to reach for all the things that I need to know. I have books upon books and books and books and books. I prepare for my ceremonies. I prepare for my transmissions. I prepare for it through books. I know how to quote this author, that podcast, this and that. And yet, so many of you are not able to integrate. You're not able, let's face it, to trust yourself. And please take a deep breath. Self-love, self-worth, all of these words, even words like self-confidence, they are bombarding the space that we know of as wellness, the space that we know of as personal development. And yet what we are so sorely missing, I believe, and you, of course, don't have to believe in this. You don't have to echo with this. You can even disagree, because that's the whole point. We are all fractals of the divine. We are all fractals of the divine, and we came with different aspects. And there is a reason why there are different aspects, because we're here to create the unified whole. And so I don't expect all of you to be the same as I. I don't expect you to say yes to things that you may not disagree. Well, you may not agree with. And that is the beauty of life. And my job, my work, I am devoted to building, holding that space for you so that you can hold space for all parts of you. And when you can do that, you can hold space for all multiple truths to coexist. You will no longer feel like, well, that person didn't agree with me. I'm not going to tell them anymore about my visions or whatever it is, or that you're circulating the same events that you never really confronted inwardly again and again and again, and wondering why you keep coming up against the same sort of people, different people, but same story, same kind of motions. If anyone has really been in that space, let me know. I'm not a saint. I'm not God in any sense of the word, but I am the fractal of God. And when I am allowing, when I'm surrendering, when I let myself be taken, that's when I completely become empty to be used by the divine to share with you the truth. And this is how I operate in my mentorships with my clients. This is why they call me the no BS guru, or the no BS mentor rather, because guru is such a sensitive word today, isn't it? And yet, if we can really, really find the foundation in ourselves to fully hold our own truth, that word won't cause any friction. Because guru, in the very, very elemental sense of the word, means teacher, means mentor. So even in social media, when you see so many things about like, oh, the guru era is over, like, what does that even mean? Why are we not actually questioning why is that creating a charge in me instead? Rather than turning outward all the time, externally, looking at someone to blame, looking at someone to fire, looking at someone to completely deconstruct, when really we should be deconstructing our own system of beliefs, which is essentially what is always limiting us from going after what we truly desire, limiting us from really receiving the transmission from the divine zone, the genius zone, as some people will call it. And so many times we also see in social media people saying like, oh, it's not that you fear what you can't do. It's that you fear your greatness. I'm going to give you this. It's not that you fear your greatness. You fear what you're going to quote unquote lose when you follow your soul's fullest alignment. When you align with your soul, you have this belief that you will lose something material, or you may lose everything that you have built. Let me know if this is something you resonate with. And where is that space for us to actually ask the question of where is that thought from? Where is that belief from? And it's true, it may not even come from this lifetime that you have chosen to come through as a human. It may resonate through your ancestors, which is so important to understand, because this is why we do the work of reconnecting with our ancestors. This is why we do the work of going inward to connect with our divine essence. Because these are fundamentals. These are fundamentals that can answer so many questions in this society that we're wrangling with now. You want to talk about saving the environment. You want to talk about how we can be more kind to each other. You want to talk about achieving world peace. You want to talk about these things, but nobody's actually talking about spiritual connection. Nobody is even like, how are we at a place today where we're actually even asking the question of whether God exists? That's not the question to ask. Because to ask that question is actually to completely annihilate your own divinity. Now, I'm not saying that it's not right to ask that question. Trust me, I've asked that question in a similar vein. I often have grown up asking, who am I? What am I here for? And sometimes I still catch myself in a space where I meditate on, what am I here for? And so many of us so often come to the mind to answer that question. We don't actually ask and answer through our soul. The mind will often say things like, well, I am here for some kind of like job that I'm doing, a title that I'm doing. Like right now, I'm a spiritual mentor. Back then, I was a writer. So I'm here to write. I'm here to be an incredible writer that inspires people through my books. And now it's so easy to even also go through into that same motion and say, you know, I'm here to be a spiritual mentor so that the world can change for the better. It isn't. I truly believe that what we are here for is the unfolding of the cosmos through us. And please breathe. Please breathe. Before we go further, I want to let this space open up a little bit more, because this is what I really stand for. I want to create spaciousness for all parts of you to be welcome. And so if you feel called to, you're so welcome to share, to ask, to bring in something that is burning in your heart. And when I see your comment, I'll just really tap into that. And if the transmission comes through, I will share it with you. And may you be open to hear the truth as I see it. Listening deeply in stillness. Thank you, Jen. Stillness is something that really called me in to speak today, which is the irony, because to speak about stillness, how do you even do that? But it is really important at the moment because it's weighing very heavily on my heart as I see so many beautiful, multidimensional women, spiritually attuned women, light leaders. If these are words that resonate in your heart, please let me know, because sometimes it's so difficult for me to even put a name to the women who are attracted to my world and my work. You may call yourself a healer, although I don't really resonate with the word, but I make space for all, right? I make space for all of you. And this is what I said. It's like, you don't have to come in fully correspondence to me, my culture, the way I look, or what I'm saying, and my level of wisdom, or whatever it is. And if I really subscribe to that, then I will be living a very dreadful life on a hamster wheel, because guess what? If I thought in that way, then I will constantly be chasing after another wiser person and thinking I'm not wise enough, or like I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not this or that, right? And so that stops in me, and it also begins from me. And so to begin with, it's to create that spaciousness. Is to create the space where I can have the capacity and trust in myself to hold space for all parts of you to land. And I can't say enough how that has really been such a profound way, and also a way that transformed me, because I used to be really, really, one of the studious Capricorns, as you may know. I would often refer to teachers, mentors, books, authors to guide me in how I could hold a space, how I can be with people, and all of that. And I really, really say this with all respect for these beautiful beings who have really guided me. And I still call upon my ascended masters, my masters, the frequencies that create this space, they are all interconnected with me. These are threads that would never dissipate. But I have to be the one who decides how to utilize that, how to integrate that into my world, instead of just taking their words and spewing the same words. And there is no substance, there is no presence. And please breathe. To do that, I would love to share that I don't just visit the vortex of stillness. To do that, I have to really allow myself to surrender into the stillness. Because it is the stillness that will hold all parts of you. It is the stillness that will create that space for you to move through emotional states that you may feel are too big for you in the moment. And please breathe. I'm just reading Ati's comment here about your beautiful journey of making space for grief. I feel that we are all moving through a lot of grief. Jen, feeling you. Susan, feeling you. And feel the frequency that is moving as we speak, as I move the energy for you as well. Just open yourself to receive that. You don't need to know. Don't try to feel it. Just let yourself open up to it. Anyone else here deeply grieving? Put your name in, Lorianne. I would love for you to just move into your heart. And just for this moment, Jacqueline, hold that love for yourself. I don't want any of you to send any love to anyone. Right? Just in this moment, just let yourself hold yourself. Please, everyone who's feeling the grief. I know it is very instinctual to want to send love to everyone else, but I want you to sit with the grief right now. Your own grief, not anyone else's. Susan for yourself, Lorianne for yourself, Ati for yourself, Jen for yourself. Sit with your own grief right now. Ask the essence of the grief to show you what it is here for. Show me what you want me to see. Don't be afraid to be taken deeper. Don't be afraid to be broken. Let yourself be broken open. Don't be afraid of any darker emotions that are rising through there. Grieving doesn't look like anything that you think it has to look. We want to really allow ourselves to be leaders. If we want to be leaders, we have to be the first to really see all of us, to hold all parts of us. It's so easy for us to look outward and help others and guide others and hold others. But who's holding you? You've got to hold you. You've got to hold every part of you. Even the icky parts, yeah? The beautiful parts, yes. And it's so easy for us, especially if you are a multidimensional woman, to really feel like, I know I shouldn't have done this. I know it should be like this. I know it must be something else. I know I need to grieve. I know I need to feel it all. I know. I know you know. And can we come back deeper? Can we take that deeper? Your job, your work is to go to the depth of that knowing. Don't skim the surface. Don't see it and be like, okay, all right, and now I need to go look at someone else because fixing someone else's problem is so much better than looking at my own shit. And emotions are energy in motion, and I know you know this. And we are so powerful in holding the emotion that we know that we need to look at it, we need to nourish it, we need to care for it, we need to send love to it, but also at the same time, when is the time to finally say enough? When is the time when you finally see that it's truly love that you're holding? It's truly a potential energy that is for you to catalyze something really powerful within you. And that you do in stillness. Nobody can steer you. Nobody can give you the walkthrough, the step-by-step guide. It's the stillness that is going to guide you deeper into that depth. Even for me, I can open the doorway for you. I do that with the work that I do in mentorship with tea ceremony activations. In tea ceremony, we really are connected through these invisible threads to our ancestors, to all the beings in the world. We are connected through the very bowl we're holding, the drink, the tea that we're drinking, the fire that we're stoking. It's a very natural connection with nature, and thus through nature to the cosmos and beyond. And the stillness that holds all of this, it gives you that space to finally be free to explore how your soul speaks through you, as you, for you. And Jan is saying, my cup is in need, yet I keep giving to others. Then wonder why I'm so empty right now. Yes, this is why. And when you are giving from an empty cup, you resent giving. And then we are caught in this capitalistic cycle of thinking, I shouldn't be giving so much because, what if I give and I don't have enough, or I give and they don't give me back anything, and yada, 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 yada. And it's so important to understand that when you choose to operate in a different way, when you are able to touch the divine within you, when you're able to feel your soul move, most oftentimes you're probably most likely going to operate in a very different paradigm. But that doesn't mean that you will not unconsciously fall back into the old paradigm. This is the part where we really need to be very, 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 I want to say vigilant, but also devoted, actually. Devoted to refining and harnessing our capacity to align with our soul. And some people call it self-trust. Some people call it knowing your own truth. Because you know what? If you are aligned with your soul, a lot of times you can actually become aware of the mind speaking to you, saying to you, you should really be doing that instead. Or you should already be done with the grief. Or you should be stronger and march on. Life goes on. And you know what? Life does go on. If you are at the whims and woes of life, life does go on. It does. And your frequency, your energetic imprint says it all to life. Because life is a reflection of your frequency. You are an energetic match to every single thing. There is no mistake of it. I know most people don't like to hear it. But at every point, even the person that you despise, the person who's hating you, that's right in front of you, it's like, you are an energetic match to that. But instead of thinking, why am I an energetic match to something that I really absolutely dislike and am so disgusted by and I don't want anymore in my life? The question really, really, really should be, how do I bring more light so that I can be transformed, so that I can be the transformed, so that I can create as the divine? This is your soul listening. This is your soul being listened to. It goes both ways, by the way. If you're feeling like, what's she talking about? There is no separation between you and your soul. Yes, it's easier to understand for the mind when I speak about you and your soul, but your soul is you. You are your soul. In tea, we have this beautiful saying, when I'm in ceremony with tea and I'm serving my guests, it's very easy to start to feel like we're coming as one. Well, one, I am her, she is me, tea is us, we are tea. Again, the presence of the stillness holds this. we access that genius zone, that God zone, that divine frequency. Why do I talk so much about that? And even then, it feels so elusive because it has to be felt to be understood. And I can't tell you how many times my clients come to me and say, Ling, I was out there traveling in Finland, and I was walking through the mountains and I could feel the spirit of the land. And it's thanks to this practice with tea. Tea has opened up the doorway for me to feel peace. Tea with you has really allowed me to tap into the music of my soul, to see the vision and not just see it, but actually bring it in, bring it down. To trust yourself, you gotta make space to practice trust, my love. I didn't grow up trusting myself, by the way, everyone, if you're new here. I grew up with so much anxiety about my body. And I used to grow up loving my life. I grew up with a very beautiful innocence until the innocence was broken by, firstly, this bunch of boys when I was about 12 or 11 and 12, and they started to jeer at my body. I was like, wait a minute, is there something wrong about my body? I never thought about my body. I actually had no concept about my body. That was the first awareness. And then from there, I thought, to be accepted, to be loved, to be with lots of friends in my life, that's to be accepted. So I need to change my body. And I started to starve myself. And when I got into my first ever relationship, I got into my head thinking, for him to stay, for me to be loved, I need to be in my best shape. And that means I had to keep my body under control, tight control. And so from there, I developed a 10-year span of eating disorders. I was at my lowest weight when I was going through the breakup from that first relationship I had. And I had to be put into the hospital, hooked up with an IV drip. And I remember the nutritionist, the doctor coming in and telling me, girl, you're like 21 or 23, I think. I can't even remember anymore. But like, you have a constitution of a woman who's in her 60s. And I thought in that time, I was like, that can't be right. Now I can sit here and tell you that, what does that even mean? A constitution of a woman in her 60s? Like a woman in her 60s can feel like she's in her 20s. Yes. I've seen it. I've seen it in my clients. There's no concept of time unless you're bound by time. There's no concept about validation from the others unless you're bound by that. And yes, to cut a long story short, that was a 10-year span of yo-yo recovery, relapses, putting my attention outside of myself often because I thought that if I could help this other person, I will be redeemed. I'll be loved. I will be approved. And I never, ever, ever even thought that the real deal is actually to turn inward and look at myself and really ask myself, like, what do I really want? What does my soul really want? And there I go for it. And so it was in the year 2019 when I literally was recovered from my EDs, and I was sitting there meditating. I was feeling so abundantly alive, and I just felt that my soul was coming through. It was saying to me, there's something really that you're meant to pursue, but it's not this anymore. And so I remember getting on my knees because I really don't know what it was in my head. My mind can't conceive it because it's never happened before, my loves. If something has never happened before, your mind is never going to conceive it. So I got down on my knees and I asked the universe, show me what it is. And you know the funniest part about this? I know you all know this, you beautiful spiritual women, multidimensional women. You do this, you ask the universe, show me, guide me. You ask the angels, you ask your guides, whatever it is. And then when you're being shown, you don't make the move. You say, oh no, that's not what I really expected. You still want to control spirit. Let me know in the comments if that's you. And no judgment here, but if it's you, let me know, because that's going to help guide our transmission's energetic frequency here. Jan is saying, yes, so true, it's me. You want to control spirit. You can't let go of your control. And then here you are in this rollicking ride thinking, why do I still hate my life? Or rather, if not hating your life, at least you would be saying, why am I still here? Why am I still at a place where I don't want to be? I still need to work on myself. There's so much I still need to work on it. My loves, you may not be in a place where you are saying to yourself, I hate you, you suck so much. You may not be there anymore. But this critic, this critical voice, this ice queen, it still sneaks in. It still will sneak in, and you have to be aware of it. The voice that says, you still have to work on yourself. You still have to heal this part of you, or that part of you. You're not healed enough. Or, that's not what I expected. I'm still here. Like, why are you still here? If you know so much, why are you still here? This critical voice, you have to be aware of it. You have to be aware. And from there, let's take a moment here, everyone. If this is the voice you hear and you can isolate that now with me together, I would love for you to open yourself up to it. Don't fear it. Be with it now. Stand as the master, stand as the leader of light, stand as the priestess, the multidimensional woman that you are. Stand with this critical voice and ask with love pouring out of you. What are you showing me? What is it that you really need? What is it that you really need now? And don't be mental about it, my loves. Really let that be shown through your body. If you are very, very intuitive, like me, and empathic and visionary, you see it in your third eye immediately, bring that energy down. You can swallow, just to make it physical, bring that energy downward. See if that energy can reach all the way down to your toes. Because I don't want that to just stop in the vision. It's been there for a long time. We want to bring it down. What is it that you really need from me now? To that critical voice. And be ready to be surprised. Be ready to expect the unexpected. Don't try to control it. Because that's the way the voice reacts. It reacts to you trying to control it. It reacts to your spiritual bypassing. And so no more bypassing it. No more avoiding it. No more trying to positivize it. Bring it forward now. And let me know in the comments when you're ready what you're feeling, as I also help you move the energy as well. Give me a few words, how you're feeling, what's coming up. Make your presence known if you are just joining us. When we are able to learn, when we are harnessing our ability to feel deeply, we can begin to trust ourselves. More and more and more, you can trust your soul when it speaks to you, and you can start to really navigate life as the soul, rather than through the mind, where you are constantly trying to survive or prevent or protect. Hello, Sharon. Welcome. Sharon is saying emotion, calm, peace. Amazing. Amazing. That's what I want to hear. Jen is saying, I need to love myself fully without hesitation first. Jen, I want to give this to you. When I read this, immediately this transmission came through. It's this saying, if you know you are made of God, if you know that you are an extension of the divine, there is no question about self-love, because when you love yourself, you love God. When you love God, you love yourself. And here I want to just preface God, universe, Tao, use it interchangeably, whatever that resonates with you. Come into my space with the knowing that you get the frequency more than the words, okay? So love is the divine in action. That's it. Yes, in the physical realm, it's about giving yourself what you need, is taking care of yourself, eating good food, having the good bath, or taking yourself into, like, giving yourself a good treat. But I want to take you into the frequency of you, sacred luxury, the frequency of sacred luxury. When you treat yourself as luxury, you know your energy is luxury. Your energy is not going to be given to any A, B, and C. Not just any Bob, Harry, Spencer, whatever. It's literally luxury. So how is your energy going to be treated? How is your energy going to be treated when you know you are sacred luxury? Not just luxury, but sacred luxury. Feel that frequency. Feel into that, my loves. It's very important that you do. I want you to feel this energy. Too many of you are giving, constantly giving, in the attempt to love yourself. If I can be better, if I can be seen, if I can be given the accolades, the awards, if I could be, then I can love myself. It doesn't work that way, my loves. It doesn't work that way. If you want people to treat you in a certain way, you've got to love yourself. And this is not the love that I'm talking about just at the surface level. I'm talking about you backing you giving yourself the accolades that you are craving for, you giving yourself the approval that you've been seeking for, you knowing that you are an evolution over a lifetime. You're not just this, like I'm seeing this energy of like a slab of concrete. To see that you are this multifaceted diamond, that's what you are. And in fact, I'll go a little bit further. What I see in the field often when I'm working with my beautiful multidimensional clients is I see this, it's like a diamond, but it's a fluid, translucent plasma, almost like a plasma. And we want to get that to live through you. Like literally, I can see the transformation in my clients. I can see it in their eyes. I can see the way they move. The body, the shoulders are not stiff and rigid. The face is not held tightly. It's not a mask devoid of emotions. It's free. It's youthful. You feel younger. This is a physical dimensional thing, but it all starts from that field, that luminous field. And you can really, really say, and I want to say this to you, very important. Please listen to this. Take a deep breath. Trust is not when things are going well and you say, I trust myself. Of course. Trust is built when things are not happening. Things are not going, quote unquote, in your head thinking, well. That's when you trust. That's when you say, I trust myself. That's when it matters the most. That's where it's built. That's where it's harnessed. I didn't grow up with trust. I didn't grow up with any spiritual idea of what spirituality even means. You know what happened after I got down on my knees? I was given an invitation to go to a tea ceremony. Yep. Never been to one. Never had that kind of spiritual connection with tea. I drank tea, but I drank like David's tea, anyone knows David's tea? No judgment, but that's the kind of thing I was just having, that nice cup of tea and, it's flavored and it's good for me. But a tea ceremony? Never been one. And I said, I would love to go. Who knows what's going to happen? But I never thought I'm going to go and I'm going to have a spiritual awakening and I would change my entire life because of this. No fucking idea. And that was what happened. That was exactly what happened. I went in there. I held the bowl of tea in my hands. I felt the connection with my ancestors, my female ancestors, especially my grandmother, my great grandmothers. And I said, holy shit. I was given a divine mandate. Through tea, I heard you have to drop everything you know and go and serve tea. Took me a while for sure, because I was like, who the hell am I to do this? Nobody in my family did that. My family followed a very straight and narrow path of doing what works, doing what is socially accepted. And now I am telling my mom, hey, I can access your cat's energetic field. Do you want me to do some healing on them? And my mom's like, yeah, okay, sure. Who would have thought? No idea. We had no idea this would have happened. Who would have thought that I would say yes to this divine mandate and pack up my bags, left my job, moved countries, went through COVID, built a 6-figure business through COVID. Like, doing this, who would have thought? Nobody. I, for no reason, ever would have thought this would happen. No. Who would have thought that this girl who grew up thinking so little of her own ancestry and her own culture, who wanted so deeply to just run away from her hometown, who would have thought she would sit here today and say, everyone, I am leading a spiritual retreat back to my homelands, where I know I was there so long ago in another lifetime. Because when I landed there, there was no reason for me to be there. You know, my mind was saying, everyone around me was saying, you could go another time. You're too busy for this. But my soul was saying, how can anything take precedence? No, you have to go. No matter what, you have to go. This is the one and only time. Nothing will be the same. If you went another time, it's not going to be the same. The situations, the people, the frequency, and this is the time. And so I had to drop everything again and say, okay, I'm going. And this is how I came to a point where I found my value, not outside of me, but within me as a mentor, as the one who pours the cosmos into the bowls of tea. I lead the ceremony, not the other way around. I choose, I decide as the soul how I want to human, not the other way around. And you have to understand this, because you can sit there and say, I'm waiting for spirit to drop the message. I am praying to God. But how are you asking? How are you praying? Are you still the victim in the story? Or are you the creator? Because if you act as God, if you act as the soul, as the divine is in the center of your soul, in your core. And you are creating. You are the creator, being created. No separation, all of it. Not the one waiting for, basically waiting to be fed, waiting to be breastfed. No, that is the biggest lie. Again, another paradigm belief that holds you back from living the life that you're truly here to live, holds you back from dreaming big, holds you back from living the life you know you're here to live, which is so vast, so big, that so many people have put down because they can't comprehend it. And quite rightly, because that's exactly why you're here. You're here to lead and blaze the trail. And what does that mean, my love? That means doing something that the world has never seen before. And please take a deep breath with me. Do you feel this? Like, I feel like everyone has gone really silent for at the moment. But I really felt that transmission needed to come through. It needed to come through. Someone needed to hear it. Maybe one person or everyone. I don't know. But this is how I lead. I don't hold back. I see it as it is. I tell it as it is. I don't really believe in being cancelled because I'm a soul. I'm eternal. I'm everywhere. And it's my job. I decided as Li Ying today to share this truth. And it has to be said. It needs to be said. If you want everyone or anyone to hold all parts of you, you have to be the one to hold all parts of you first. If you want to see divinity all around you, you have to engage with divinity within you first. Then you will see it being reflected in your reality. Make no mistake, I promise you that. I promise you that. All right, Jen is saying, receiving, Ling, a smile has come to me. Jacqueline, a heart, beautiful. Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for your beautiful 111 I receive. So, my loves, let me know how you're feeling before we come into a slow completion. We will slowly move now into completion, but I want to know how you are. So let me know. So yeah, just to complete the story, like after making the decision to really just move countries, come here, I'm living in Edinburgh right now. I just felt that, you know, for many years after I sought out the masters, the teachers, and, you know, the funniest thing is that I came to the conclusion that I have known this. I have known this. It comes through my hands like I have known this. And I was asked, I was receiving the transmission when I was walking through the mountains in Wuishan, which was the place that I told you that I had to go. I had to go there. That land, literally the mountains, said, "You are the master. You are the ones who will open up the path for the royals to walk through. There are many royals who have walked through. Now you're the one who will lead that." And that led me to open up an incredible mentorship space called Majesty. It was a high level space I've never done before. I was like, oh my God, can I really do this in my mind? But my soul knew that was going to happen. And so I did. And I had the most incredible experience running it. And it was that place where I could really combine a mysterium where I could teach about the way of tea. You know, tea is not just drinking tea in this space. It's a ceremonial space. It's a space where you come into an intimate awareness of yourself and connection with the cosmos and thus with everyone in your field. And the beauty is that actually these two things are never separate. This is how you know. This is a deepening into the knowing. It's an embodied knowing. And an embodied knowing rooted in your intuition. It's rooted in your psychic abilities, because you do have that. I know you know that. In your leadership of light, because you know that you work with light. I know you do. In all the different ways, it will take on different looks in the physical dimension, but you are working with light. It's formless. So the question is, how are you bringing that into form? And that, you see that over and over again when you're working with tea. It's the most ordinary looking thing, but that is how you bring it into this aspect, into this dimension. And really, tea offers us that opportunity. It offers us that opportunity to really, to quiet the mind and open the heart to feel more fully. My loves, this year, going forward, more than ever, we are being invited to feel fully. And to know this, everyone is a spiritual being. To feel that, yeah, it's not a mystery, but something we all have. It's just that we have forgotten. And if you are a leader of light, if you are here to lead in this beautiful spiritual way, in all the ways that you're doing, you can be a grandmother, you can be a mother, you can be a healer, you can be a psychologist, you can be a CEO, you can be all of that. I've worked with all of these walks of women, by the way. You are being asked to listen more deeply, not just with the mind, but with the whole body and soul. And please take a deep breath. So Sharon is saying, Thank you. Wow. Thank you, Sharon. I've never connected with you before, so it's such a pleasure. I see you, I feel you in the field. And you're saying, I was just sharing last week that this year is my year to remember who I am and who I was born to be. Yes. This lifetime, because I know you are an old soul. I just did a reel where I was speaking directly at your soul, to your soul, with your soul, the old soul. That's why sometimes holding all parts of you feels so vast and difficult, because you are an old soul that's accumulated a lot. And you, at the depth of you, you know you are an eternal soul. And that's why sometimes the mind cannot fathom, like, how can you want so much in this life? How can you want to do so much? How can you think that it's possible when so many people think it's impossible? Because you are an old soul. You are not fazed by that. So please do not buy into the stories that your mind can churn out or the society around you can churn out. Oh, I'm just seeing this. Om Mani Padme Hum. Yes. Thank you, Jacqueline. Sravan, Chris. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Although this conversation is really for women, I see some men popping in, which is really, really interesting. All right, my loves. So, an invitation, 2 invitations. The spiritual journey that I spoke about in person to Wuyi the enrollment is going to close very soon. And this is my invitation to you. If you feel this is for you, please, you're very welcome to ask me for the registration details. We are going in April, and this is a majestic soul divine feminine retreat. We're going there to journey through the soul with tea in ceremony. And not just that, but we're going to allow the sacred frequency of the land to work on us. This is ley line work. This is ancestral work. This is beyond whatever culture or racial judition that we are thinking in the head. This is really off the beaten path. We are given such an incredible access to places that are privately held that you don't actually have access to usually. And the timing that we're going in April is when the tea is being harvested. So you'll get to see all the ancient rituals around when they harvest the tea. This is really connecting with Mother Nature on a whole other level. And I'm honored to bring in the spiritual elements where I will be working with your energetic body, where I will be really there to elevate you. Because this is you. This is your work. This is you already there. It's available. Your wholeness is right there. And we're there to bring it forth. So that's one. If you're interested, please let me know. And I am going to also invite you to contemplate how you want to go forward this year. Just like Sharon said, this is your year. I know this is my year. And because of that, I am fully invested in my growth, in my expansion. I'm not going in saying this is my year and all right, Spirit, just show me what's happening. I'm going in, this is my year. Bring it on. Show me how to bring more light. And to do that, I know I'm fully invested in my growth, in my expansion, in taking all parts of me with me. And so in that same vein, I invite you to contemplate joining me in a 1-year mentorship. This is a high level space, fully intimate. There are 1-to-1 spots available right now. And wait for it. This space is called Luminous. Please feel into the frequency. I don't need to say any more from here because you can feel it. So this is the invitation. These are the invitations. There are 8 spots for the retreat, and then there are only 2 one-to-one spots for this 12-month mentorship that I have opened right now. When they're gone, they're gone. And so if you want more information, just feel free to drop me a DM. You can join me on Instagram. You can find all of the details in the link in my bio. And I am very honored that you stayed on all the way, by the way, because not a lot of people do. Lots of people want the fireworks and they don't stay on for the journey. And so you're here. If you're here, I know you are one of the few who can feel this frequency, who can get this level of conversation, who is really here for the power of this incredible time that we're living in. So with all that said, thank you, my loves. I bid you a beautiful farewell, and I look forward to welcoming you into whichever space that you are inclined to join.